Shazam! Hello everyone, my name is Danny. This movie review is for the movie called Shazam! Billy Batson is a streetwise 14-year-old who can magically transform into the adult superhero Shazam, simply by shouting out one word. His newfound powers soon get put to the test when he squares off against the evil Dr. Thaddeus Savannah. Sorry. This stars Zachary Levi, Mark Strong, Asher Angel, and Jack Dylan Grazer. Also has Digimon Hunzu. It's a PG-13 movie. It runs 132 minutes. And I believe it's a 2018 movie. But I could be wrong. We'll just say 2019. Sorry, they have this stupid label on top of it. I just can't see the year, but I'm pretty sure it was 2019. So we'll say that. This is Shazam. Put it over here. Well, I'm doing this movie review now, and I just watched this movie last night because I didn't like the previews. I wasn't connecting at all with the story, and I did not want to waste my time watching this in theater. So I waited all this long, and I did watch the whole thing. I was very intent on the whole thing. I rolled my eyes a lot. I did. I don't understand why this movie was made for kind of more kids than maybe adults. And they would include language, and they would include kids' kind of conversation and jokes. It's kind of a mixture of a movie, and the creatures, to be honest, are a little bit terrifying. And so it's really not for young kids. And some of the jokes are just completely worthless, so it's not for adults. I'm not sure who really enjoyed this movie, because I don't know who it's for. I don't think you needed to have language in it. I don't think you needed to have some of the creatures look horribly terrifying and have some terrifying things done to people. If you wanted to do that, just Deadpool the thing and make it rated R and add more language and have more people's heads bit off. I don't understand why movies get on the fence like that. We've had Deadpool. Just, if you want to be like Deadpool, be like Deadpool. Be rated R, put a lot more language in the thing. So, I can tell that this was trying to be family friendly, which I sort of appreciate. But when it gets to the non-family friendly stuff, that's when I'm wondering what's going on. So, I think that's the biggest thing with this movie was, what is its subject material that it really wants to push? If we have another Shazam, if this continues, if people remember this movie, I'm just going to remember it for kind of going up and down, on appropriateness. So, the other big thing I had wrong with this movie is the purpose of the movie. When Billy Batson ends up going into this subway and going into this universe and meeting this wizard, we have two things wrong with that scene. And that scene defines this movie. It's why this movie exists. One, the wizard says that he is his only hope or something. He doesn't go through the ritual of trying to make sure his heart is pure. And he just kind of says, you're my only hope. And then number two is that we find out in the first part of the movie kind of Billy Batson's situation, what he's going through. Not necessarily backstory, but just what he has going on. And I can't think of a worse person to say is the only pure in heart person in the world. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't know why this movie decided to include the stuff that it did with Billy, but as soon as we hear pure in heart and we see Billy like do a mischievous thing, you lost me. You did. The whole movie lost me. I ended up watching the rest of the movie, but it's it's just ridiculous. It's like, why would you put the one person that's messing with the cops and stuff as the purest in heart? I just don't get it. He does misuse the powers and all that. That's kind of a funnier part of the movie, kind of light humor and stuff, what he's doing with his powers. The guy that plays Shazam, he's funny in the way that he's handling things. We understand that he has to have this mentality that, he's a child that doesn't understand his powers, and once he uses his powers, it's like a blow to the mind of a 14-year-old. I will give him props for what he did, and I kind of enjoyed his character. I mean, I wasn't able to take it seriously or anything, but the way they handled this, the way they handled that, it was all very straightforward, predictable, whatever you want to say. And it's just kind of a weird movie. Like, if they cut out a couple things here and there, and if they changed a couple things here and there, I could really see myself liking this movie because it is well done with the graphics. It does have a lot of different characters, adding different things that we need. The Foster family, each of them has their own personality, and thing that they bring to this movie, it kind of helps. But I think if they went the other way, if they were just to completely go rated R and add a bunch of language and add a lot more violence, I think I would have enjoyed this movie a little bit more also. But they were a little, timid to put in a couple things to, oh, is it okay if we put the S word here? Oh no. Is it okay if we have this creature bite off this guy's head at this scene? Oh, it's on the border. I just felt like that's what they were doing with the movie. And I just felt like they were afraid to go either way, family friendly or rated R. And I just think that that's not a way to go about a movie. If you're going to be afraid of things, then your audience is going to be able to tell. And it's just going to be a mixture. It's just going to be confusing. People aren't going to know what to think of it. And I know in the last, many months, I've heard people did like this movie and everything. They thought it was hilarious. I'm not on that boat. I don't think it was hilarious. I think it was a well done, confusing movie. I think there was a lot wrong with it. I had a couple scenes that just lost me, like letting us know that Billy Batson's really not pure of heart because he's a troublemaker, and then he ends up being the only pure of heart that can take on this magic. So that's just my mixture of feelings about Shazam. I would say that it earns a C grade from me just because it's so much stupider. Yes, stupider than other superhero movies. It's not as funny as other mid-range superhero movies. It's not as interesting. I mean, it's sort of interesting because of how they leave the movie at the end. But I can't imagine watching another one of these. I really can't. I sat through this one. I think it's all right, but why make another one? I don't get it. I mean, I know you kind of have a more of a elaborate cast for the second one, maybe but you're just seeming like a really bad version of Power Rangers, or there's just been so many movies like this, and the way they talk about their powers when they have them, oh man, like this, superhero, and like this superhero. I don't like when people talk about other franchises in their franchise. It just makes it a little tacky. I don't know. Maybe it's just my opinion, and maybe I just haven't liked the idea of Shazam for so long, so many months, that I really can't get over a couple things. But so I'm sorry if I'm being a little bit petty here, but there are a lot of things that really were wrong with this movie. And so I just want to make that kind of straightforward because I was hearing a lot of people like this movie. I just don't understand why. So I'm going to give a C to Shazam. Obviously, if you have not seen it yet, I can't suggest watching it. But if you have seen it, can you tell me why you liked it? Because I really don't get it. Thanks a lot, guys. My name's Danny. If you like this or any of my other videos, try and give something to watch. Like and subscribe to my channel if you would. And enjoy your movies. Thanks.